Good afternoon, gentlemen, and welcome to your Week 16 update. As we all know, last week was the start of the playoffs, and we had some pretty great games. First game I'd like to talk about is Kenya Sagandis and the Well Hung Folk. It was a good matchup. Despite having a league high five Pro Bowlers on his team, Coach McCormick could not overcome the offensive power that Kenya Sagandis posed. A close, hard fought game, but in the end, Coach Foley advances. In our other matchup, clock struck midnight on this Cinderella story. 99 Problems was simply outmatched and outplayed by the vastly superior Team Balls Deep. In a nearly 50-point blowout, Coach McCormick avoided the trap game and advances to the semifinals. Um, Now what we're going to do here is switch gears a little bit and go to the award ceremony. Talked about it, we voted on it. Here it is. We're just going to dive right into it, starting with Coach of the Year. Coach of the Year goes to Coach Brendan Foley with Kenya Saganas. Last year, this team was 1-13 and took 12th place overall. That was dead last in the division. Last year was 12-man league. This year, 10-man league. But that was dead last year. This year, they're in the semifinals of the playoffs, has the second best record in the league, and is third in points for. So that's quite the turnaround, quite the accomplishment there, Coach. Congrats. Um, Switch gears here and go to worst draft pick. This goes out to Coach Evan Falkman and the Lamar Jacksons. This is an award nobody wants to receive, but someone's got to get it. With the number one pick in the 2022 fantasy draft, um, the Lamar Jacksons selected Jonathan Taylor. And Jonathan Taylor's performance this year could be summed up in one word: regrettable. Jonathan Taylor played his last snap of the season last week. He's out the rest of the season to a high ankle sprain. Before that, he missed a total of 3 games this year due to injury. And 6 of his 14 games that he did play, he scored less than 15 points, and he is currently sitting at 26th overall in points scored for his position. This is very unbecoming of a first overall pick, and it's quite the disappointment. So, sorry. Um, on the flip side of that, okay, we got best draft pick. This is going to go out to Coach Aiden Riley and Team Spirit. With the 85th overall pick, Team Spirit drafted Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard is currently the number 7 overall running back in points for and was the second running back selected to the Pro Bowl by the NFC. Pollard has been the beneficiary of being a true number 2 in the Cowboys' backfield and made the most out of his opportunities, while Ezekiel Elliott has missed some games and he's really viewed as an elite running back in the league right now. What an eye for talent this coach has for being able to find such a diamond in the rough, and a well-deserved congratulations is in order to you, coach. Um, Trade of the year. This was a tough one. There's been a lot of big trades in the league this year, but I think there's one trade that really stood out to everyone, and here it is. Kenya Sagandis with another award. Congrats, coach. This trade was between Kenya Sagandis and Team Balls Deep. Kenny Sagandis acquired Travis Kelce and gave away Najee Harris and George Kittle. This was very early in the season, September 20th. Here it is. Travis Kelce is far and away the best tight end in the league. He's currently 8th overall in points, excluding quarterbacks. With quarterbacks, I think he's 13th or 15th, so still pretty high up there. Um, Najee Harris, on the other hand, was later traded away by Team Balls Deep. I don't think he ever started a game for Team Balls Deep. And George Kittle is really one of the most inconsistent players in the league when it comes to fantasy. Um, yeah, so what a trade by you, Coach Foley. I think we can all agree that Coach Foley won that one, and that was the trade of the year. So thank you for all your submissions, all your votes. That concludes the award ceremony for 2022. All right, so back to fantasy football. This brings us to this week and our two exciting semifinal matchups. Our first matchup is between Kenya Sagandis and Team Mother Tuckers. Okay, Kenya Sagandis is looking to stay hot coming off last week's playoff win and keep their number 3 scoring offense rolling. However, the lights never seem to shine too bright for Team Mother Tuckers, considering they won last year's championship and are hungry for a repeat. With the staunch defense that Coach Alexo has, nothing is out of the question. This is going to be a hard fought matchup for both sides. And our other semifinal matchup, we have Team Balls Deep versus Team Spirit. This is a rematch of last year's first round of the playoffs, in which Team Spirit was able to seize to win and eliminate Team Balls Deep. But that loss must have sparked a fire in Coach McCormick because this year he has bested Coach Riley by razor thin margins in both of their matchups. Despite that, never underestimate the coaching of team spirit in the playoffs. Don't forget, this is the team that has gone to back back championships in the past 2 seasons. This should be a shootout with the number one versus number two scoring offense in the league. Team Balls Deep is number one, Team Spirit's number two. And these offenses are going head to head. This is the matchup that all eyes are going to be on, and I can't wait. Two mortal enemies, and there is no lack of hatred between these two teams because it runs deep. Let's not forget that these two teams were the ones at the center of the trade controversy back in week 8, a controversy that brought Team Spirit back to life and made them the team that they are today. This matchup is going to be everything we've been waiting for all season, and it could not have come at a better time. It is like Chris Kringle himself
Ho,
was
ho,
working on this matchup
ho!
all year and will place it under our trees for us all to enjoy this Christmas weekend. Which brings me to my final point. Merry Christmas to all you guys. Yeah, all that. As always, feel free to reach out. Any questions, comments, concerns. That's an update. A year later, Commissioner Riley.